joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to digitize handwriting using SewWhatPro on Windows. And we're going to just first grab a marker or a Sharpie, and you grab your white piece of paper. I have a whole stack because I mess up a lot. And we're going to just, with really thick, nice hands, we're going to write love mom. Make sure they're nice and thick. Think about your embroidery machine and how it doesn't like to jump around a lot, or how you don't like to maybe have to cut a lot. So just think of it, if you can get them continuous is the best. The darker the better. You know, if you want to have something that looks really nice, you're going to want to use really short words. So love mom, love dad, love grandma, love Nana, stuff like that. You don't want to have a poem on there. Even though you can, it's going to come out a little bit more choppier. So not that that's that big of a deal, but well, I guess it is a big deal. So now we're going to take it over to the computer. We're going to I'm going to email it to myself and open it in Paint. So however you get your images to your computer, you can use a scanner, you can use your USB cable, you can use, you know, your SD card. So I'll leave that up to you, but I'm going to go over to my computer and I'm going to open it in Paint. And I do that because Paint gives me the opportunity to kind of clean it up a little bit before I put it in SewWhatPro. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back at my computer and I've imported the picture. I'm going to go ahead and open it in Paint. I am going to rotate it left 90 degrees because I know it was sideways. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit, select rectangle, and then I don't want to cut up any of my blue. And then I'm going to go up here to crop. Alright, and then select all. It's going to select everything in there. And right click or come up here and choose copy. And we're going to open SewWhatPro. And then we're going to edit, paste, oh, I forgot to resize it. Resize it in Paint first. Where this happens. It takes forever to do everything. So let's go ahead and resize it first to 95 by whatever, 95 by 78. Doesn't really matter what the height or width is as long as they're both under 95 if you have a 4x4 hoop, which is what I have. So you just can't make it bigger than the hoop you have. That's all. So now we've resized it. We don't need to crop it anymore. This is posterized, which is really cool for a lot of other stuff, but we don't really need it for what we're doing. Image Wizard, we don't want to use on this. Color reduction, we went ahead and brought it in without changing anything in Paint as far as colors go. And sometimes whenever you take a picture or you do a scan, it puts a lot of different shades of the same colors. So even though this looks like it should only be 2 colors, it's in fact 218 colors for SewWhatPro. So we want to just get rid of all of that and bring it down to 2 colors if we can. And it's not letting us. So let's go ahead and bring it to 3 colors. Okay, so there's 3 colors, and now let's try to do 2. Okay, so you just keep bringing it down until you have no more issue, and it does just give you 2 colors. It won't let you do 1 color. even though that would make sense. So now it's just simple gray and blue again, but there's no shades. There's nothing in the background for it to want to make you change your thread a bunch of times or have to shift anything. So it's just going to be one color. Well, two colors, but one color for you. So we're going to go in here to stitch image, and on the stitch image part we're going to go to outline center line. And this is if you want a pretty satin stitch to do your handwriting. And that works really well if you've used a marker or a Sharpie and you have really thick solid lines. If you have varying lines, you're going to want to use a fill stitch. You know, if you famously push down really hard on your R's going up and it makes a really thick part of an R, you're not going to be able to change that thickness with the satin stitch in Sew Art. But their fill stitch is really beautiful. So just keep in mind this isn't, you know, perfection, and you're still learning. I'm still learning. So I just thought I would teach you guys how I could do this. So anyways, you're going to have 5 stitches on the machine. That's going to give you your wording, and you're going to want to change your height to 25. You want the satin stitch to be a little fuller. 15 is kind of a really thin, straggly looking stitch to me, but 25 should be pretty nice. The bigger you get, the fuller the lines get, and the prettier it is. But in something like this where there's a lot of curves and bouncing and moving around, you want to have a smaller line, and that makes sense. The bigger lines, they just kind of jumble over each other and create a little nest and look really not very nice. So you want your length in between each of them to be set pretty close together. I like 2 to 3. On letters I like 2 just because they're so small. So anyway, so you've got your height and your length changed. You don't want to do anything. Don't worry about the gray. It's not even going to show up because you're only picking your letters. So go to File, Save, and then go directly to your computer to the removable disk. And I'm just going to cover up my old Love Mom. Make sure down here that the pattern size is less than 100. And make sure this says PES for me. It says brother. And then it's going to ask me, since it already is there, yes. And so now it actually stitches out in a pretty little, it looks like a neon kind of thing, but it's just the satin stitch. So now I'm going to go to my machine and I'm going to set everything up, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so we're over here at my computer and we're gonna go over here, and we have some of the old stuff on there. So they both said say Love Aunt stuff. So let's go to Love Mom, upload it, and it's gonna say electric blue, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use white because I'm using a black stabilizer. Also, I wanted to tell you guys, I use 100% polypropylene garden fabric for everything. And I've noticed that Joanne has started selling it in colored rolls, but not as garden fabric, but as craft fabric. So I just wanted you guys to know you can go get a roll of this 100% polypropylene fabric, 3 foot wide for 50 feet for 10 bucks. And it works as a great stabilizer, and it also works as a fabric to, you know, use to make patterns and all kinds of stuff. I use it to practice on. I use it as a stabilizer as well as practicing on it with my embroidery stuff. So here we go. I'm going to try to get a good look of the machine for you. but there we go. Alright, so I have Love Mom on there, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it really big, and that's all it'll do. So that's good. Okay. So there you go, you guys. You can see it says Love Mom, just like on my paper over on the table. Alrighty, so next I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do handwriting. Okay, so here we have a picture of a letter that my mom wrote to me, and it says, "Love always, Mom and Dad." It's very special to me since my mom is no longer with us. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight into freeform selection and go around all of these. I'm not the best at this, but you want to try to get as little amount of the blue lines in there as possible. Love always, Mom and Dad, but not the lines. Those guys kind of suck. Okay. And then you're going to crop. So that gives you a nice little, where it's just what you're working on instead of all that other stuff. And so we're going to go copy. And we could do erasing. You can do a lot of erasing in here actually. But what we're going to do, since we don't have to do all that much, we're going to select all, copy, then we're going to go open our SewWhat program. We're going to edit, paste. We're going to resize first, always, golden rule. We're going to zoom in so we can see it and work on it. And we're going to bring the colors down to 5. And that's a little crazy. So let's try 2. That's too much. Well, let's try 3. And that's just crazy too. So go back to normal. Let's do 10. And now let's do 2. That's much better. Okay, sometimes you just have to play around with it until you get what you want, but the color reduction is what I found helps just immensely. It's really, really nice. Okay, so now you can go in with your eraser and make sure that your eraser matches the color in the background, or else it's not gonna be an eraser, it's gonna be a pencil. So, kind of a purist. I don't really like erasing any of the handwriting if I don't need to. Sometimes it makes it really quirky, but in this case you can really tell where the lines were. And each of these little lines out here, the computer's gonna, if you hit the auto sew button, it's gonna try to stitch it, and it gets really annoying. So you're just gonna want to take your eraser and clean up anything. Lucky for you if it was something on a card or something that didn't have lines. It should be a whole lot easier for you, much like the one that we originally did with my handwriting. This one's a little bit more intricate because there's more things involved, different people involved. So the wonderful thing about doing this is that I can put this Love Mom and Dad on a pillow, on an ornament, which is what I did this year, on anything, and just when I look at it, it's my mom's handwriting, not, you know, a personalized thing that says Love Mom, which is still fantastic, but this is actually my mom's handwriting. Alright, so we're done cleaning up all the edges, and that's about as close as I think I'm going to get with the thickness of all of her letters today. So On other ones, on the past one, I've done a satin stitch on the lettering and it turns out really pretty. But on this case, I'm going to just use the fill stitch. Keep everything nice and thick and pretty, and it'll look kind of choppy when it's starting, but by the time that it's all finished, it'll be really beautiful. You want to go in order of your machine, and sometimes it's not all going to be continuous, so you have to make sure you press everything in here, everything that you want stitched, just in case it didn't stay in a line. And you can always go in and, you know, draw in those lines too if you don't like any separation. Alright, so here I have 11 changes, not changes, sorry, 11 steps that the thing is going to make, but that doesn't really bother me. It's all the same color, so I don't have to do anything actually, except for trim. So right here, oh, we're not going to manually change anything because we're using the fill stitch, and the fill stitch is beautiful already. Okay, so with that, we've already picked everything. We don't have to make any changes. We go File, Save, and you go directly to your computer, to your removable disk, and I'm just going to call it Love Mom again, but filled this time. And make sure that my pattern size is still small enough that my my hoop can handle it, and hit save, and it stitches it out over there so I can see. Tells me all is well, and then I go to my computer and I stitch everything out, and life is good. I really hope that that helped. If you have any questions, please ask me and I'll do my best, but I am still fumbling, so hopefully I'll have better videos in the future, and hopefully you all will be able to understand how to do this a little bit better. And I'm sorry if it's really convoluted and I've made it harder than it should be, but this is how it worked out for me with my fumbling. So alrighty, thanks so much. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.